welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm doing a little extra surprise cube draft on a weekend video. Mostly I just have a free Saturday afternoon and feel like cubing, and at this point in life it's weird for me to play Magic Online without the microphone. Underground Seas in this pack, there's no power, no insano stuff. Like, I like Bone Crusher, it's a solid 2-for-1. I like Fire Covenant. Prof's Memory is one of the new archetypes in this updated version of the cube. They put a bunch of card draw in to support kind of blue aggro stuff. I think I'm just going to take Underground Sea, though. That leaves my options open. Classic BoshNRoll cube draft, starting with a pack where a dual end is the heater pick. Here we've got Oath of Druids. It's early enough to build around that. Chandra is... It's a little early to call that a signal, but Chandra and Headliner Scarlet are both really good in the red mid-range decks that I actually enjoy a lot in cube. Woodfall Primus, you could flash that in, you can natural order that. It goes well with the Oath of Druids. Skydiver and Preordain are just good cards. Overlay to the Bailmerk is in. Up the Beanstalk is now an archetype in this version of the cube. They cut like the land stuff and move some of the white aggro stuff around a little bit. All the Reanimate, the Flash, the Show and Tell, all the stuff that I normally like is still in the cube. They didn't change that. Do I want to take a swing on Oath? Or do I want to just take this Thieving Skydiver or Preordain and be happy? I'm going to take the Oath. Come on. I might do only one draft this season. I'm going to try to make it fun. Well, here's Ancient Tomb immediately punishing me for not taking the Bone Crusher Giant and the Chandra. Just a rock-solid addition to any mid-range red deck. Chariots, fine. Kiora is a new one. She supports the Prophetic Memory archetype, allegedly. I'm taking Ancient Tomb. I'm just taking stock of what else is in the pack. Imperial Seal is here. Yeah, I'll take this Ancient Tomb. City of Traders as well. Lightning Bolt is just good. Verdant Catacombs is just good. Fatal Push is fine. If I take this Verdant Catacombs, it unlocks Underground Sea on the blue and black while also getting any basic forest for Oath of Druids. There are red signals coming through me, but at this point I've sent multiple strong red signals in the wrong direction, and I don't want to get hooked the other way around. Lightning Bolt is just really good, though. For me, it's between Bolt and Catacombs. Cheap interaction versus making my deck work. I'm going to try to make my deck work. Worldspine Wurm, all-time banger. Entomb is important to certain archetypes. I thought this is urine monstrosity for a second. Like, Jesus. Duskmourn is a weird place if we're being chased by urine monstrosities. But no, it's Ursine. I'm taking Worldspine Wurm, though. This is just one of the nastiest units you can cheat in. It's great to hit off Oath. It is great with Flash, great with Show and Tell. Not great with Reanimate, but who needs it? All right, Worldspine Wurm in the bank. Cryptic Coat is a way I could put a threat in my deck without putting a creature in my deck. It immediately generates a creature, but I can Oath past it. So I get a little bit of each there. That's interesting. Ketria Triome. I don't think I need more fixing at this point. Jace Wielder, I could just Oath my deck away and win with Jace somehow, but I'd need some way to recur it out of the graveyard. I might just take Toxic Deluge and build this control deck. Nissa, I would like, but later. Eureka, okay. That dovetails with what I'm doing quite well. Goblin Bombardment. Aristocrats is one of the supported archetypes in this updated version of the cube. Gitaxian Probe is just a good card that could go in any deck, but if I took Oath of Druids over Thieving Skydiver or Preordain, then I'm also going to take Eureka over Gitaxian Probe now. We're just in the fun zone here. Overlord of the Mistmoors. This is reasonable to Oath into, and I can cast it as not a creature. It does take double white to do that. And Eurekaing it in is pretty solid too. Okay. Overlord. My alternative is Zagoth Triome here. I'm taking the Overlord. Wow, Bone Crusher and Props Memory on the wheel. I can't Oath into Bone Crusher. There will be games where I don't have Oath. Savannah suddenly casts this Overlord of the Mistmoors. Absent is removal, but it's removal that costs the same as Mistmoors. Like, that's not good removal in my colors or what I'm representing right now. I mean, Bone Crusher is a really good card to still be going around. But I am going to take the land. Another Overlord. This one's a lot worse to Oath into, but we got Primus back. I almost called this Prime Time, and then remembered that's what we call Primeval Titan, and then I remembered that Primeval Titan got cut from the cube, so this is Prime Time now for the purposes of this draft. Okay, I have some stuff to natural order into if that shows up. Imperial Seal. Ooh. I just misclicked, but got what I wanted anyway. Great Big Tar Pit is another land. I have really good support for blue-black right now. I mean, I do have black on the splash. All right, I'll take it. Boseiju. This card is cool. It manifests Dread twice when it enters, but I don't think that's what I actually want compared to something like Boseiju. And we did get the Jace Wielder. If I find some way to loop my graveyard, this becomes something I might be interested in doing. I'd really like a Flash or a Show and Tell. I'm also in the market for like Duresses, Thoughtseizes, efficient removal. Well, there's a Thoughtseize. I just said that. Animate Dead, also phenomenal. Blightsteel Colossus, quite a unit to Oath into, but I already have... I think I got to chill on that sort of thing for a minute. Vaultborn Tyrant, also excellent there. I think Animate Dead is better than Thoughtseize, though these are two of the top kind of non-power cards that I enjoy drafting. And we're not going to get Thoughtseize back, that's for sure. We might get one of these two monsters back, but I'm taking Animate Dead. I'm in green-black big idiots. That is exactly the type of deck that wants Animate Dead, even though I think any black deck would play it. Emrakul is the biggest idiot there is. Shallow Grave is another way to recur idiots, but the Entomb's already gone. Didn't come back, didn't expect it to. Talisman can advance me a little bit. I think I'll wheel this Talisman. Much more likely that I'll wheel Shallow Grave, Emrakul. Ragavan's a nutso busto. If I had just taken red cards from the start, forced it, my deck would be really good, but I'm not going to keep talking about that. Okay, more big. The biggest chunguses are all accounted for at this point. Duress, Vamp Tutor. I already have a Vamp Tutor. I do like Deep Cavern Bat. Massive non-bow with Oath, though. I'm going to take the Duress. Caracas is a heater. Teferi is really good. Mana Leak's really good. Sheldock Isle. Oh, this is another backdoor into all my monsters. This Caracas is solid against parts of my deck and good against everyone. We're not drafting in pods, though. This is a league. So I don't have to think about playing against this Caracas specifically, and taking this Caracas doesn't remove it from the pool. I think Sheldock Isle as another backdoor into all my nonsense is the way to do it. Tolarian Academy with 0 artifacts in my deck at this point. Virtue of Persistence is clunky removal, but it is early removal that turns into a Reanimate later. I think Time Walk is the best card in Vintage Cube, and Time Warp is pretty far removed from that. That 3 extra mana really gets you. Who would have thought? Richard Garfield, you figured it out. I'm going to take Virtue. Calling out Natural Order as a card that gets Worldspite Wurm and Woodfall Primus is a little awkward because Oath of Druids is a deck that does not want Mana Dorks in play. And you need Mana Dorks or early green plays to enable a Natural Order. Well, 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 look who's here. We got the Show and Tell. I should read this. When you unlock this, make 3 devils. Yeah, no, that's not it. Trips Titan, another big one. Big ones are more replaceable than putting in the big ones is. And I'm just going to go full Oath Eureka Show and Tell here. I love Luris, but goodbye. We're not close to being Luris. Oust is reasonable interaction. Lingering Souls is creatures that aren't creatures. I don't think I'm playing white. Blush Portico. I can fetch it. I do have Overlord and the Mistmoors in my deck. I don't want to Oath into Flage. That would be embarrassing. Soul Guide Lantern, just generic interaction, and can cantrip. The best decks in Cube, in my opinion, are the ones that abuse the graveyard. And this does kind of park the bus and let you All right, I'm taking Lush Portico, though. Last minute juke. Metamorphosis Fanatic is not embarrassing. It's kind of shitty to Oath into, but it does... What am I even doing with that? Because 2 of my monsters don't even end up in the graveyard. Like, Otawara is fine here. Otawara and Fanatic, I think, are both fine. Okay, I am going to take the Fanatic and build out my Reanimate package a little bit. Overgrown Tomb is here. Sensei's Top is here. These are both good. I think my mana is pretty solid. I'm going to take the top. I'm nowhere near Dak. Okay, Sensei's Top, you're in. Kitsa is good with Reanimate stuff. Bad with Oath. Oath is just 1 card in the deck, though. I'm not going to, like, not take reasonable cards just because Oath might be a card I have sometimes. Delighted Halfling Daze. I think I'm going to take Delighted Halfling on spec just in case I find Natural Order. I want to start building that package somehow. Blooming Marsh on Color Duel versus Chrome Seed Shark, a card that is pretty solid in general. I'll take the Marsh. Terra Sunder is removal in my colors. We got the Luris back. You're in the maybe pile, and this is in the nowhere near me pile. Get it away. I don't want to look at it. Sorting this deck by mana value is a fool's errand. Okay, what's going on here? We've got Grief, Urza. Uh-oh, I gotta read this. Menace Trample. When it enters or becomes monstrous, destroy target permanent. Okay. I don't hate that. Through the Breach. Through the Breach rips with my deck, but I also don't have red mana yet, but that could be resolved before the end of this pack if I prioritize it. I think I want Deathclaw. This does add density to my monster payoffs. Oh, Sylvan Library's here, though, too. I got it booty blind by this big monster. I'm taking Sylvan Library. Hopefully something from the pack comes back for me. Fact or Fiction 6, Malcolm, Deathrite Shaman, Fast Bond. That's a really late Fast Bond to try to take advantage of. Temple Garden. I have this Overlord and Luris. Luris is as black as she is white, and I also might not even play her. Is 6 busted? Is Fact or Fiction busted? Fact or Fiction might be the one here. Malcolm plays well with the Kitsa. That just gives me more of that kind of effect. Fact or Fiction is like Reanimate and more. Sylvan Caryatid, horrible with Oath. Great with not Oath. Any other sequence of cards in my deck except the Oath of Druids. I'm happy with Caryatid. And there are a lot of decks that just play out creatures, so it's not like you can't have a creature to trigger Oath, but if you get Oath to trigger and hit Sylvan Caryatid, you're in the garbage. Thought Scour, Ledger Shredder. I think I will take the Caryatid. I have a few more looks at Natural Order, a card that I would love to have. Bring to Light. I could Bring to Light for Show and Tell. Is that how this card works? Instant sorcery creature. I could Bring to Light for Show and Tell. I could also just take this Windswept Heath and have my mana be really good. Night's Whisper, pretty solid as well. I'm going to take the Heath. Yo, we got a flash. Last minute flash. Itali, one of the best things to flash or generally put into play, but I already have the Worldspine Wurm. There's no world where I'm not taking flash here. Collective Brutality is another duress that can also be an Entomb. Yeah, this is my take here. Carnosaur Mortuary. I have no red. I'm not near red. If that Sneak Attack wheel somehow, I didn't see a red fixer. I got the Sylvan Caryatid. I'm going to take the Mortuary. Frantic Search. Okay, that's a card I could play with. Shifting Woodland could be fun here, but it's not better than Frantic Search. Here's the Doomsday. I do have the Jace in my sideboard. I could become Doomsday Oath. It's not better than Frantic Search, though. And I did wheel the Through the Breach. Otemio could be a regrowth in this deck where I'm looking for action, or I could somehow try to play this red card that is really good with the cards I have. Yeah, Sylvan Caryatid is the only red source I have. Yeah, I'm going to take Tamio. Might not even play her, but here she is. Bone Shards, that's removal. Corpse Dance, Ledger Shredder, Thought Scour. These are basically all the cards I thought about the first time around. I think I want the Shredder. Night's Whisper, cool. Okay, I got a couple different plates spinning here. If I could get them together in deck build, that's exciting. Natural Order is not happening for me here. Cult Epiphany. I have to read this card. Draw X, discard X, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token for each card type. I mean, draw, discard X is useful in my deck. Open World Oddity. I just cast that sometimes. Fanatic of Ronus. Okay, from my early cuts in deck building, or in draft, we have this deck in front of us right now. Let's do a once over. Both Flash, Show and Tell, Eureka are all exciting ways to put creatures into play. These are the exciting creatures to put into play. Only 4 is not a high hit rate for Eureka. Eureka can put in Virtue, though. Okay, Reanimate stuff is these cards. I'm actually going to put Virtue in the removal pile. It's a removal spell way before it's a Reanimate spell. Right, interaction removal, Frantic Search can be part of the Reanimate package. Occult Epiphany and Factor Fiction both result in things going to the graveyard and me seeing new cards. And Imperial Seal is just good in combo decks. If I just add 7 lands, that's 18. That's more than I need. I do get to play another card here. It's probably Sensei's Top. I have 2 fetch lands to manipulate that, and it helps get the combos together. Temio is fine. I just don't think I need it. I have all these mana dorks. Like, all the parts of my deck, except for Oath, improve dramatically if I add these mana dorks. And the looter dorks. Like, I could just kind of make Oath a if it happens thing, or I could cut Oath and build a totally different deck that involves a bunch of low drop creatures. Or I could just be this sweet bug combo deck. Magic Online, what do you think I should do for basic lands? I'm not playing a Plains. Overlord of the Mistmords costs double white. I have 2 white dual lands. Let's do a color sort, see what's going on here. Okay, Shelldock Isle and Besagio are each single color lands. I've got 2 white sources, which I think is the number I want. I'm not really trying to cast Overlord of the Mistmords even. I want to cheat it in somehow. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. Windswept Heath can get black in this deck. Black and white. And obviously green. Verdant Catacombs can get my blue as well as my green, black, or white. Catacombs is the glue here. The spells I'm trying to cast are primarily blue and black. I currently have 5 blue sources in the, or 6 blue sources in the deck. 8 black sources, 9 green. So green is kind of comped. My core fetch lands and everything get green happening pretty smoothly. This build is actually really hard. The temptation of getting these value creatures in and just building a more normal deck versus just paying out the Oath for sure. If my opponent's a creatureless combo deck, I could board out the Oath and bring some of that stuff in. If I was playing my mana dorks, I could play fewer lands. That's also nice. What does the deck with the mana dorks look like? And I just play Oath anyway, because that is a thing I can do. Or maybe with Show and Tell, Eureka, Reanimate payoffs, Flash, I don't need Oath anymore. Do I need Night's Whisper? Okay, this build cuts the Oath. My second pick that informed my entire draft, now suddenly looking mid over here. Yeah, I think ramping into Factor Fiction or Occult Epiphany has replaced Oath as where I'm getting my value. And I have the Oath in the sideboard still that I know about if I play against a super aggressive creature matchup. Okay, here we go. Let's play some matches. I'm on the play in round 1. I like my hand. I'm going to keep it. I don't have an untapped green source, right? Or untapped black source. It's Underground Mortuary that I can get with the Windswept Heath. I have to decide if I just want to go Shelldock Isle into Sylvan Library or if I want to collect a Brutality. I think I'm going to get the black mana online. The Shelldock Isle won't do anything for 7 or 8 more turns anyway. Okay, tap land. I can respect that open. I'm something of a tap land myself. They kept their card. Mortuary Duress. I like Duresses. I'm going to wait a turn on it and get my library deployed, but I do like a Duress. Guide of Souls. And Ocelot Pride. Okay, they're just playing a banned Modern deck. I guess you could still do this in Modern. All right, let's look at some cards. That Blooming Marsh is actually a big deal. Being able to duress and brutality here is nice if I need to. Sensei's Top Forest. I don't need this forest at all. I'm going to discard forest to brutality. I'm going to pay 4 to keep it. And I'm going to put Sensei's Top on top. Okay, brutality. Target creature gets -2. Target opponent reveals a card. And am I more worried about Ocelot Pride or Guide of Souls? Probably Ocelot Pride. Discard forest. Let's hope I actually get a spell here. Always the sweat of a hyper-conditional duress effect. Oh yeah. The full miss. It's all creatures over there. Which means I discarded a card and took 4 life for no reason, but it also means I can deploy the Shelldock Isle. And this will clear the Sensei's Top, Overlord and the Mistmoors. Alright, put you in the bank. That also makes Blooming Marsh worse than the forest. Everything fell apart there. Okay, going for Flage, just helixing me. Like, they could have played FOMO, discarded Flage, and gotten kind of bonus value off that, and went with this instead. This extra energy does buff one of their creatures in combat. I'm going to 8 right now. Fear doesn't have haste. Alright, good. Ooh. Well, I would like this 4/4 lifelink in play, so I'm going to reveal this, and I'm going to resolve Sylvan Library first. Worldspine Wurm. Alright, you're not really what I want here. Yeah, if I had found a monster here other than Worldspine Wurm, I could have frantic searched it into the graveyard in response to the Miracle Trigger. Tough beat. Okay. Top. I don't want to pay any extra life right now. Do I want to frantic search away the worm? I think I do. This would be so sick if it worked. I could have paid 4 to see a new card, and if the third card down was a monster, it would have been nasty, but that's not how this is going to work. Okay, Worldspine Wurm and Blooming Marsh to the graveyard. The worm shuffles in. Goodbye, Worldspine Wurm. I'll miss you. This does clear the top of my deck, which is the important part for me here. Get to see new cards next turn. They can put me to 3 with what they have. Fnatic doesn't fly. It's the only thing it doesn't do. But if I start getting back in with lifelink, we can make a game out of it. I have a removal spell starting next turn. Obviously, it's all magic and it's whatever, but if I had just found the worm under Shelldock Isle and hit the Overlord off Library this turn, I would have like 150 creatures in play instead of 1. They stomped my head. Do they have a plan to burn me out? Do they just have Lightning Bolt? Because that would do it. 1 unknown card in their hand. Don't do it to me. Oh, come on! Alright. Alright, the 4 damage I took from Sylvan Library might have been a little aggro. But also, just if the Fire Blast was in their hand instead of nothing, would have been better. It's all good. Is this a matchup where I bring in Oath? They clearly have a deck full of creatures. So that's Caryatid, Fnatic, and Halfling out. And I would bring in Oath, Tameo, Swamp. Is that how this works? Do I even want to do that? I'm into it. We're pivoting back. Flash, Animate, Dead, Brutality. I will keep my hand. Just got to find a monster. Inspiring Vantage. Lush Portico. Alright, keep digging. I won't be fooled into duressing them again. Or I'll just do it at my speed. Emrakul. Alright. This one doesn't work with any of the things. Shit. Alright, well, Emrakul could go into the graveyard, then shuffle away. The non-bow. I do have monsters that work with some things, but not others. Unfortunately. They're playing Draw-Go with me. Mortuary. Keep them coming. Forest. I don't need that. I can save this brutality till they play a creature. And at least get some sort of action. What I wouldn't want is if I brutality them, see Containment Priest, and can't take it. Okay, just nothing off that cycle. Fourth Aerolingus, X = 1. Shit. Well, they have the Monarch. They're gonna have to overcome that now. Haste creature, the beats. I have a creature in play. I could just take the Monarch, hit them back. That might be how I do this, actually. Sensei's Top. If we're both drawing extra cards per turn, who does that favor? Probably the combo deck would be my guess. Tar Pit, go take the Monarch. They can take it right back again, but we're doing stuff. There we go. That makes a pair of 2/1s off of Flash, and then I can Animate Dead it. And then they're going to have a lot to overcome. And the Monarch's returned home. The One Ring. I've heard that's good. Okay, I can exile the One Ring, flash in the blocker. I was hoping to actually collect a Brutality, discarding the Overlord this turn. They're not going to let me do that. I'm going to play Sensei's top, and I'll pass. They're actually not going to get any cards off this. Exile in response. Okay, so that was a 4-mana Don't Get Duress. I'm not going to block here. They already have the Monarch, and this thing has Trample. It would take both of my bugs to stop any damage from coming through. Just worried about, like, specifically Containment Priest. Okay, I'm going to let this resolve before I put an enchantment and a creature in the graveyard. Okay, end of turn, flash. Overlord of the Mistmoors, can't pay the difference. Some flying bugs. I can afford to spin my top here, as I have Brutality, Discard Forest, and Animate Dead. That's 4 mana worth of plays, so I can try to spin up something more powerful than Overlord. Imperial Seal, some lands. All right, well, that's not it. Swamp, Seal, Heath. I could just go full queso here. Okay, I am going to go full queso. -2, drain, reveal your hand. I don't think I need all these lands at this point. Is there a spell in the 7-card hand? There is. Okay, there's a couple. Council's Judgment, Path to Exile, Parallax Wave. I might just lose anyway. Okay. Can't take that one. It's not even a full duress. Okay, so Judgment costs the most. Path gives me a thing. I don't care about a Braid. It's Judgment or Path. I can Imperial Seal, then flip top. Is there a single card here that changes anything? Ooh, Fanatic. That's interesting. I could Imperial Seal for Fanatic, flip top to flip it during their next combat. But I can't do that till next turn, and then my creature's already in exile. All right, I think Path to Exile is the take here. I'll just make you tap out in your upkeep. Or in your own turn. The Parallax Wave is a beating, though. But if they go for Wave instead of Council's Judgment, I can... If I leave a bug back, then they have to wave. I could Beseiju the Wave. Okay, so this Monarch trigger will draw Imperial Seal. And then Animate Dead gives me 3 more creatures. And removes enchantment and creature from the graveyard. Makes Goyf a lot smaller. The double whammy. They could go Flage plus a Braid to finish off Overlord. If they don't exile it, though, they're in a lot of trouble. So if I have the Monarch, my plan to top for Metamorphosis Fanatic has another step, which means I have to Imp Seal for Fanatic, then top it to the 2nd from the top. So I draw a different card from the Monarch, then flip top on their turn in combat. But all that only matters if my creature is not in exile. And with the Judgment, voted for Animate Dead. They got clever. I'll also vote for Animate Dead. So this puts an extra card type in the graveyard. If they had voted for Overlord, the Animate Dead would die, but there wouldn't be a dead creature. So now my Metamorphosis Fanatic line is insane. I'm going to block and save the Monarchy. God save the Queen. Now what are they going to do? Like stomp one of my bugs? Okay, yeah, they stomped a bug. Okay, Swamp. I'm going to play Swamp, Imperial Seal. The Metamorphosis Fanatic now makes the most sense. I'm going to spin my top. Woodfall Primus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can cast that next turn. Okay. I'm drawing Primus. These bugs are probably dead anyway. I drew the Primus. Now it is up to my opponent to not obliterate me. Flage. Pretty good. They're clearing the bug. Oh no, they dashed a Ragavan. What will I do? Whatever will I do? Activate Sensei's Divining Top. Yes, I would like to reveal this miracle. And we get 4 creatures all of a sudden. 2 of them have lifelink. We know their hand, and we know it doesn't help. This is just a giant obliteration. Yeah, I would expect a concession here, and we got it. Cool. Well, that was fun to navigate. Now I'm on the draw, where Oath is even better. Still worried the deck's a little dirtily versus this red deck. Now we've also seen Ragavan. But we have the power. Just show me 2 lands, Flash World with Spine Wurm. Oh, there's Oath. I'll take Oath. Keep. And I even got the World Spine Wurm I asked for. Plains. Guide of Souls. Okie dokie. All right, this is a great time for them not to have Strip Mine. or for me to draw a untapped black source now. Okay, I got literally everything I asked for. Bone shards. I think I'm going to bin that because I would rather have more looks at lands. If they wasteland me, strip mine me, that's how this game quickly falls apart. Fear of missing out. Okie dokie. Esper Sentinel. And for 1, animate dead. Okay. What happens if I just cast Oath of Druids here? And that's the reason for the season, right? Hope I'm not dead. All I can do is F6. Metamorphosis Fanatic is the worst hit in the deck, I think. We've got Emrakul, Overlord, and Primus in here. There's 2 card types. If they could get Delirium, that's a lot of damage. They did not get Delirium. Did not get 3 energy either. Maybe don't have a Disenchant. Ocelot Pride. Okay, here we go. We're getting an Oath trigger, and then we're going to get another one after that because they have so many creatures. Yes, do it. Primus. I'm going to take out their white. We've seen exile-based removal. I didn't even mill that many creatures. That's just the deal of the century. Duress you. What's going on over there? Okay. I will take this Council's Judgment. And now all I have to worry about is decking myself. But the monsters I have left should kill my opponent before that happens. They can give one of these things flying. They do have Delirium also. Okay, here comes the lifelink. If I get outraced here, it would be disappointing. But we are doing the thing. Yes, I'd like to go again. It was literally the top card in my deck. All right. There is nothing to discard here. Oh, if I draw land, we're stable. Oh my god, that does it too. Yeah. I have to pay 3. I'm going to attack with Primus first. It has Trample. What are they going to do? They get to Oath, though, if I do this. What creatures am I worried about? I could also just Virtue of Persistence to kill the Ocelot Pride. The Guide of Souls needs a lot of work here. Yeah, I think I just don't want them to Oath. I think I will win if I don't give them a big swing somehow. Yeah, the Oath of Druids, pick 2 of the whole draft, sideboard technology, soloed that game. And that's why you respect a card like this when you see it. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I am on the play in round number 2 with an extremely disappointing hand. I have most of what I would ever want to play the game, except mana. And the untapped green source means any land I draw casts Caryatid. I'm not going to take this risk. I'm just going to mulligan. This is Vintage Cube. I can't fart around forever. And rewarded, I'm going to bottom the Flash. The Show and Tell is a lot like Flash, except stickier. And if I draw like Emrakul instead of Primus or Wurm, that's way better. Opponent is on 6 cards as well. Let's try to make it 5. All right, Nadu. We at least stripped the Lava Spur Boots. Opponent's got a Nadu deck. That's cool. Just played their Forest and shipped it. Okay, we've got a plan. Emrakul has to beat Nadu here. They do get to put something in next turn. And I just have to cross my fingers that my thing's better. Okay, so we are working with perfect information. 6 natural or a Lotus Petal to the bottom, or to the graveyard. Yeah, they have 5 cards in hand, and we know what they are. They're going to put in... Oh, wait, no, we don't know. There's 1 unknown. Forgot to click that away. Okay, 1 unknown. Hope it doesn't go off with Nadu. Emrakul. Sneak attack. All right. Well, that's exciting. That was a wild 1 card to not know. Please don't draw your own Emrakul. We see Natural Order and Sneak Attack in their deck. This Show and Tell plan might be a little dodgy. They clearly have some boom booms over there. Cobra. They can make 3 red mana right now. Or they can make 2 red mana in combat next turn. Is there a way for them to actually survive this Emrakul swing? Okay. Nadu's in their hand. They could sneak it in, sack that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They could be at 5 life with a mountain and sneak attack still in play next turn. Except that they can't because I have Terrace under. Oh, I'll just respond to the fetch. Okay, yeah. No, we're good. I'm going to attack, respond to the fetch by exiling sneak attack, and then they lose all their permanents. Trigger Annihilator 6. Tear you right asunder. Well, that worked out perfectly. I'm glad I mulliganed. Okay, opponent's got big chonkers in their deck, clearly. What is my chonker pivot? And it's only show and tell that actually punishes me for them having a chonker in their hand. Oh, Eureka. Never mind. I got some big ones. Okay, I could get away from show and tell in Eureka, or I could just hope that my animals are better than theirs. But they do get the first swing if I cast the thing, which is pretty awkward. And Duress and Collective Brutality don't clear creatures from hand. That Thoughtseize that I passed over something else. I forgot what I took over Thoughtseize specifically, but whatever I passed over that, coming back to get me. They have a lot of mana dorks. Maybe I just oath their ass. Okay. Once again, the oath pivot coming in. Mana dorks out, swamp oath, and something that's not a creature. Last time I did Tamiyo, I could do Night's Whisper this time if I think that's more important. The options are really only these 3. And it's not Jace, that's for sure. Tamiyo's static ability stops Annihilator. Like, we saw Sneak Attack in their deck. I'm just thinking, what if they have an Eldrazi? That's something worth acknowledging. I think I'd just rather have and see more cards against this deck, though. Alright, trying in this one. 2 in a row where I backed off the oath plan, and then suddenly it felt correct. Alright, solid opener as long as I don't get shit clowned. I can kill a mana dork. Or maybe something better. Oh, please mill Grizzlebrand. Satyr Wayfinder, not quite it. Ooh, alright, well, I was going to play top, but if we could start both games with the Duress, I'll take it. Survival and Force of Vigor. Well, Animate Dead and Virtue Persistence and Sensei's Top are all things that I'm interested in here. Where do I think their survival chain goes? And do I care? I don't think I can afford to care about that. Alright. Alright, I can't afford to worry about Force of Vigor when survival is just an engine unto itself. Wow, good draw. Pitched the Findhorn Elves, played the Lotus Cobra. They still have a land drop here. They're saving that to cast Nadu with next turn, which is great because I was just going to kill the Mana Dork this turn anyway. Got Scorn on an adventure. It's weird that enchantments can be on adventures. Do they have sentience? Like, does this Virtue of Persistence have thoughts and dreams and a place it's supposed to be? Dumped a Blood Crypt. They're holding Nadu that they cannot cast with the mana they're representing. And time to get paid off this sideboard card. Night's Whisper. Whisper straight into the night. Okay. Fanatic is in my hand, which isn't where I want it, but it can win the game if it has to. Shifting Woodland. Ooh. Lava Spur Boots. Well, if they draw Nadu, or if they draw blue for Nadu, they can suddenly do stuff with this Lava Spur Boots. Sensei's Top, fetch land. I will spin now. Let's have a look. Just in case there's some big hit. Flash Eureka. I'm pretty sure I don't want to cast Eureka versus this opponent. Flash is a game plan I could get behind, or I could just fetch my Surveil land and see up to 4 new cards here. I think I do want the Flash. And then I'll shuffle and take more looks. Because that's a way I can beat this Force of Vigor. Because Oath, Animate Dead, those things all care about that. Look at my top 3. There's Lush Portico. I was going to fetch for that. Still will. Fetch Portico. Sheldock Isle. That's a card I could play as well. Alright, I'll pass. I'm chilling. I'm holding 2 answers to this Nadu if it resolves. If they find an untapped blue source, they can immediately equip Nadu twice and get 2 flips out of it. I'll spin my top. I know Sheldock Isle's on top. World Spine Wurm is even better. Okay. Alright, I could go for the Flash. Okay. Occult Epiphany. Sheldock Isle, World Spine Wurm. I could Flash now. I mean, why not? What am I playing around? Days? Alright, flip it. End step Flash. There's 1 unknown card in the hand. I don't know what it could be in Jund that would punish this. I will not pay the difference. I will get a bunch of friends. This does shuffle away my top. I forgot about that, but hopefully it doesn't matter. Hey, does firing up Tar Pit matter? They can copy... Or no, they can't. They don't have Delirium. Alright. I'll just push max damage then. Attack with the squad. I don't think Opposition Agent's in the cube. If it is, I'm not going to play around it. Collective Brutality is lethal. I'll just take that in case they find somehow a sweeper that survives all this. Force of Vigor. Pitching Nadu with no targets in the end step. Does this give them Delirium? It does. Okay. They can copy what, Survival of the Fittest, then Cycle? What's the play? Okay. They must have a creature in their hand and a plan to get out of this. Dumped Vaultborn Tyrant. Let's go. We're having a game all of a sudden. They dug up an Atraxa. So what are they looking for to get into play? Do they have a Eureka of their own? They don't have enough red for sneak attack. What's the plan here? Woodland has become Vaultborn Tyrant. That just attacks me for 6 and then doesn't really do anything. I feel good here, team. All right, GG's. On to the next one. I'm on the draw in the final round. Primus in my hand. Duress Library. Windswept Heath doesn't get a Black Source directly, so this is kind of slow disruption, but the hand has disruption and a reload and a payoff. I will keep this. Jetmir's Garden. Okay, that casts what I need it to next turn. I'll put that into play rather than fetching. The opponent's on the Mega Slow. Unless they have a Ragavan here, that would bum me out. Mox Emerald. Right, it's Vintage Cube. Haven't seen a piece of power yet in my entire life. Guide of Souls, pretty good. And Sylvan Safekeeper. Alright, what are we setting up with Safekeeper? That's fun. We're playing against Nadu again. Could it be? Okay, I can play out Boseiju, or I can fetch. What does this actually fetch? I have to remind myself. Not much, actually. The Mortuary would come in tapped, if that's what I want, but I did find black anyway. I could just get a Forest. Savannah's probably better than Forest, just because that's where we are. I could escalate Brutality, -2 Guide of Souls, and check their hand, discard the Woodfall Primus to set up one of my Reanimates. Or I could just play Sylvan Library and try to get ahead of whatever is going on over there. I think I want to take a look. These modes both target, so even if they give the Guide Shroud, they will still have to reveal and discard. They discard Primus. This deck might just have all creatures in it, I don't even know. Yeah, I'm okay with a Sinkhole. And it is a deck full of creatures, and the Ragavan that I named specifically is in the hand. Okay. Looking for a way to go big here. Are they going to dash this, or are they going to build out their board a bit? Oh, or I just draw a Johnny. Yeah, we've played against the Modern Boros Energy deck twice in this league. Beat it last time. 3 for 3 on Oath should have been in the main deck. Maybe I was just wrong about trying to hedge against the Oath. Okay, what I got to do here is just flip Metamorphosis Fanatic, and then we're done. Those are right off the top. 1 out of 30. I like those odds. I like to live dangerously. Big draws. Eureka. Okay, well, I just discarded my thing that works with. The rest is not helpful. This is when another cat dies. I'm going to Bone Shards, discarding Duress. That card just is not good here. And then I'll play Sylvan Library. Yeah, I'll go after the Safekeeper. You want to lose your last land and your mana source that casts all of the cards in your hand to save this 3/3. We can do that. Library is a little bit of a gamble because I know they're holding Kasali Pride Mage. And if they draw a land, they could just bonk me and clear my library. Still feels right, though. All right, cool. Now they're not even doing that. Okay, Boseiju, Library. All right, gotta find Animate Dead. Or Metamorphosis Fanatic. Yeah, the Eureka, they just dump out more things than me. Strongly wish this was Oath right now. The Toxic Deluge in my deck would go a long way here. They didn't have the pre-combat mountain to dash Ragavan and get the extra taste. Just in for 7, put me to 8. Come on, deck. Big money, no whammies. That's not good. In fact, it kills me outright. Okay, it kills me outright isn't quite true. I'm going to put Forest on top. I don't have time to find and deploy Fact or Fiction. Forest on top, Fact or Fiction on top. Lush Portico, bin the Fact or Fiction. Sensei's top. And I'll take a spin, see if I'm dead. Well, none of that's good. Okay. I will pass the turn. I'm currently at 1. I don't think I have any outs anymore. Oh, we're dead. Okay. The Toxic Deluge too slow. Couldn't make it happen. And as predicted, 3 for 3 on both coming back in. Tamiyo and Night's Whisper both actually seem kind of bad here, but I guess Night's Whisper digs for my combo, where Tamiyo does almost nothing as a 4-drop versus this deck. Okay, here we go. Last chance at greatness. Oh, this is a lot of removal. Only 1 land, but I can fetch the Mortuary and I have the Night's Whisper to reload. If I find a monster, I can Bone Shard it away into the Animate Dead. We're very close here. Opponent's also on 7. Guide of Souls. Okay, this is going to be big. Can I find a second land? Ooh, okay. Now can I find a second land for real, for real? Shit. All right, well, we might be in trouble. I can shard the Guide of Souls, or I could duress them. I think I just want to know what's going on. Again, all creatures, including Ragavan and Ocelot Pride. Cool. I just need an untapped land deck. That's all we got to do here. As far as HQ, still can't cast the Ragavan, but they are going off. Land, 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 land. Oh, sweet relief. All right. I should read this bear. Beginning of your combat on your turn, mill a card, choose an opponent at random, attacks that player this combat, gains indestructible. Yeah, okay, whatever, I don't care. All right. The plan came together. A turn later than I'd hoped, but it should still be good enough here. This is a lot of Garbo versus a deck that's just trying to out-Garbo me. If their 2 draws since I saw their hand were land and Kasali Pride Mage, that could be something. Okay, Arwen, Mortal Queen. She starts indestructible. You can remove the indestructible counter from Arwen. Another target creature gains indestructible and lifelink. Okay, this has flying and first strike. I just want to soak up damage. I should have more Haunt Buddies, insects pretty soon. +1 counter and lifelink counter on that creature, and a +1 counter and lifelink counter on Arwen. I think I'm just going to attack with Overlord, make 2 more bugs, Imp Seal for a land, and then Deluge the game out next turn. Make 2 bugs. Arwen can touch butts with that. It's nice to Whisper better than Imp Seal. I'm going to Whisper. I boarded it in. Let's cast it. Rewarded. Okay. Got the land I would have looked for. And now I just have to be alive into next turn with enough to Toxic Deluge for 4. Right, that doesn't change anything. I block again. Okay, they've gained the City's Blessing. They have 1 unknown card in their hand. I can play around Mana Tithe. I can't play around Spell Pierce. Arwen puts a +1 counter on another thing. Their biggest thing is 3, so if I Deluge for 4, we should be good. It's actually worth more damage for me to attack with my bugs. But if they block with Arwen, no. Okay. Yeah, if they block with Arwen, I actually lose my Oversoul to the Deluge for 4, so this is better even though it deals less damage. Indestructible doesn't stop -X effects. The creature is placed in the graveyard as a state-based action. If its toughness is 0, it doesn't destroy it. Okay, we did it. And start rebuilding the bug army. I can kill the next thing they play or just show and tell over the top. They're at 32 life. That did happen. Got a lot of work to do here. Thicket, Monstrosity. They can mill cards, mill Mox Emerald. That does have Trample. That is a word I care about. All right, Oath is actually bad here. I can attack first. Othari has a lot of words on it, but those words are not as good as Emrakul's words. I could show and tell first and then Bone Shards. I'm just going to attack with Overlord first. Show and tell, putting in Othari, 2/2 tapped Rebel. That doesn't matter. Emrakul can eat the Othari. All right, show and tell. Putting in Emrakul. There's 1 unknown over there. I don't care about this Ragavan. They can't even cast it. 6 was the unknown card. Non-land permanents in your graveyard have Retrace. So you'd have to draw a land before that matters, and I don't care about any of the cards in the graveyard. I have so many creatures. I could keep my oath and keep it a secret. I think I actually... Do I have to kill this trample monster? Emrakul is so big. 15 is such a large number. I should kill one of these things, I think. Okay, I am going to kill the Ursine monstrosity, and I'm going to sack an insect token to do it. This game is just about being alive one more turn for Emrakul to eat all the permanents, and then we're out. 6 has reach. It could block Emrakul. Okay, sweet. Got through that one. Didn't reveal the oath. Did reveal the sweeper. Yeah, my sideboard is just real bad. I took a lot of lands in this draft, which did not leave me with a lot of extra spells for consideration. Yeah, this is just what we got. Let's go. My job is to go over the top. Missing black. And my hand is actually really good if I have black. Though Occult Epiphany can try to get me there. I'm actually going to keep this. It's got problems, and my opponent's deck is fast, but there's other good stuff happening here. Swamp. Woodfall Primus. All right. The lead on Savannah and pass. Oscillate Pride. Opponent's got a deck full of great one-drops. The Pride, the Ragavan, and the Guide of Souls. Just all bangers. Okay, I drew a Swamp. A little behind schedule, but it still plays. I'm going to wipe out the Ocelot Pride. Karizev does hit for a lot as well. But we'll get there. We'll figure it out. This is an attack for 4. I go to 17. That's the wrong Ragavan. Lucky for me. World Spine Wurm. All right. This Occult Epiphany is pretty good. I could just use that and make some blockers and see a bunch of cards right now. I could also Bone Charge away the Primus. I think I want to Epiphanize. Here come some jerks, including the Ragavan. I'm going to have an Epiphany. Oh. Well, I'll discard Primus and Lush Portico, which gives me 2 1/1s. And then I have a World Spine Wurm for next turn. I'll trade with the cat. Take the 3 from Ragavan and Karizev. Flage. Are we clearing the blocker or going head? Clearing the blocker. Love that for me. What am I worried about at this point? It's Containment Priest. I could just flash now and play around Containment Priest. Like, there's very little they could do if I flash right now. They could have Parallax Wave. It's like Parallax Wave or some sweeper versus exactly Containment Priest. And I guess if they play Priest, I just don't put the Wurm in, and then I can get back to work on the slow. But if this works, it's just game. 5 mana. If they tap out for Othari, we're in good shape. Bloodbraid Charger. That hits 6. That's a lot of value. A lot of creatures that are going to go straight in the graveyard. Okay. I'm going to flash in the World Spine Wurm. Just the best. I think that's my favorite interaction in the current iterations of the Vintage Cube. Like the last 3 main things. Just flash in World Spine Wurm. Easy. Double block Karizev. Block Bloodbraid Marauder. I go to 12. And the race is on. End step, I have another Surveillant I can get. Mortuary. I don't need this island. Oh, you don't say. The Ancient Tomb has finally arrived. Well, that's going to be gross. I'm going to attack with all of these. And I can take them off green or blue here. I go to 9. I think taking them off green is better. Though, what are they going to do? Honestly. Maybe double white is scarier. I can take them off both double white and blue if I go there. So I'll do that. Okay, don't deal 9 to me right now. Yeah, Flage is also double white, and the 6 attack would get them there, but the 6 attack, I double block, gain 10. Flage doesn't overcome that, even if they have the extra white. They could land and retrace Bloodbraid Challenger if they have 2 lands in hand, and then spin the wheel for something, but what could it even be? It would have to be like Wrath of God. But even the Primus beats that. It's Parallax Wave. Once again, it is Parallax Wave that the white deck needs here, and I did take them off double white to play that. If we're still playing next turn, I can play Virtue of Persistence. They do have a basic island from hand. If blue mana is what they were looking for, something like Fractured Identity could go a long way here. Oh, they actually had it. Okay. So they get a Metamorphosis Fanatic. They get a Bloodbraid Charger. This is a cast trigger. Cascade is a cast trigger. Okay, cool. we're gaming. 4/3 lifelink. All of this tramples. This is 21 points of trample. If I take out the 4/4 lifelink, they can absorb 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 of this 21 damage and still be dead. Perfect. I'm going to kill the 4/4 lifelink and attack for lethal. We're in there. One card in hand, can't be Solitude plus white card. And there's the trophy. One and done for the season. Probably the only one I'm going to have time for. I don't know. Christmas is coming. I'll have that break. Looking back over the deck, I was concerned about Oath. If we play against a creatureless deck, that it would be bad, and I would rather have the dorks in. But I think it should be the opposite, because most draft decks do have to win with creatures, and I think the default should be my opponent's going to have creatures in, rather than the default being what if they don't, and then pivot there. Like, I could have just had 3 extra games with Oath in my deck against 3 decks where it would have been perfect. This is a little sloppy. Like, the Emrakul Worldspine Wurm not lining up with the Reanimates is awkward. The Flash not working with Emrakul is a little wonky, but the Flash is good with Overlord, Primus, and Wurm, and even Fnatic it could be. Just enough things moving in just the right directions at a high enough power level that we were able to yoink a trophy out from all of my enemies today. As always, I had fun drafting the Vintage Cube. Got to do my favorite thing, which is cast Flash. That's the new Tinker. Tinker used to be my favorite card. I think it's Flash now. Again, no power. Didn't need it. Luris in the sideboard. No thought of playing it. What a delight. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.